Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I'm going to be talking about the state of tabletop role-playing games at PAX Unplugged 2018. So PAX Unplugged is the Penny Arcade exhibit convention. Unplugged is all tabletop games, no video games, all right? And so basically, PAX has its own video game conventions. They're fantastic. They're incredibly well attended. And PAX is like, you know what? We could do our own PAX Unplugged. You know, just tabletop games. So at PAX there were board games, and these were all represented and represented well. Board games, miniature games, card games, tabletop role-playing games. All right. So today I'm going to talk about tabletop role-playing games in depth and just give you an idea of what happened at PAX Unplugged 2018 at the industry level for tabletop role-playing games. So when I got there, basically they had an entire section that was just for tabletop role-playing games. They had a portion of the convention center for Philadelphia that was given just to tabletop role-playing games, and it was lots of wonderful space. I think we could have used a little more space, but to tell the truth, I want to make my message really clear. PAX Unplugged did a wonderful job of making a really nice, large amount of space available for tabletop role-playing games, to run games, to have panels, to have cosplay, to have TRPG related cosplay. It was a really nice large space. Nobody was really jammed in. Everybody had enough space to do what they wanted to do, and I don't take that for granted. It was really nice that PAX Unplugged did not make TRPGs feel like a less important division within tabletop gaming, and there could be reasons why conventions would do that, right? So, but PAX Unplugged did a really fantastic job. Okay, all right. So let me explain how the TRPG area within PAX Unplugged was broken up. And the reason why I'm talking about this today is I think PAX Unplugged is important, right? So Gen Con is fantastic, Origins is fantastic, but one of the things is it's not on the East Coast. So it's really nice to have a big tabletop role-playing game available convention, a convention that is treating tabletop role-playing games as a first-tier contender for space and attention. Which I'm not sure that even happens at Origin or Gen Con anymore. I think board games really squeeze TRPGs out a lot, right? But it was really nice, and so I think PAX Unplugged has I think we were like 40,000 people there this year, right? And that's large. It's a very large convention. People come from all over the world, and a lot of people come from all over the East Coast and throughout the United States to be there. So how it was cut up is it was, I would say, half the space was given to Dungeons and Dragons, and then about a quarter of the space was given to panels. So there were panels all weekend that you could attend that talked about TRPGs in depth or in really innovative ways or in exciting and enthusiastic ways, which is great. I love panels. I think they're a big part of any good convention. And I think about 25% was given to panel space. The other, that last 25% was cut up between three other types of tabletop role-playing game activity. One was an RPG there was an RPG free play space, which is no hold barred. Here's a bunch of tables. You get some friends together, or you scrabble some people from the convention itself, and you play with them, and here's some tables. And that is hugely important, that there was just an RPG free play space where if somebody came to the convention and they had made no arrangements to run anything, they could just grab a table and run a game for their friends, or for new friends, or for even just people in the halls who were looking for games, which I thought was really, really wonderful and special. So that was 1/3 of the 25% that was given to non-D&D and non-panel. And then another third was given to games on demand. I am linked with Games on Demand in that I have game mastered for them 2 years in a row. Games on Demand is really wonderful. They are an organization that runs indie tabletop role-playing games. They organize events at different conventions and saying, we're going to organize all the non-D&D Dungeons and Dragons games, tabletop role-playing games for this convention, and make a space for them and do all the administrative work that it takes to get that working. Now, they're not being prejudiced in any way. The reason why D&D is excluded is D&D is run by WotC, and WotC has their games on rails, man. They just have lines and lines and lines of people just lining up to play Dungeons and Dragons. So there's no need for Games on Demand to do this. But all the other small presses for TRPGs, they don't have the money to send staff across the nation, literally 5,000 miles, to run tabletop role-playing games and get everything the way it needs to be done and make it a smooth operation. So Games on Demand is just an independent organization that serves every TRPG organization except D&D, right? And it is a very needed thing. So this year I ran two index card RPGs. I ran an index card RPG turn and burn game, which is what would happen if 5 1986 F-14A Tomcats fought a dragon. So that is naval pilots, modern naval pilots using F-14A Tomcats to fight a dragon. What happens? By the way, both times I've run this game, the dragon loses, right? And then last is I ran a straight Western game. So deadly gunslingers, sassy showgirls, charismatic gamblers, that kind of thing. And both games went really well. Big thanks to Games on Demand. It went extremely well. And then the last third was given to Magpie Games, which I was very impressed. Magpie Games had their own room, which was all tables just for PBTA games, Powered by the Apocalypse games, generally. So Magpie Games kind of specializes in PBTA games, and they were running their own room with just PBTA games. I was very impressed, and I really thought it was awesome. PAX Unplugged 2018 did a fantastic job of representing 4 tabletop role-playing games. I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what the layout was like. If you're a TRPGer and you're close to the East Coast or you got that cheddar, get out to PAX Unplugged 2019. It is absolutely fantastic. I absolutely loved it. I had a wonderful, wonderful time. And I just kind of wanted to give you a state of play for TRPGs at PAX Unplugged 2018. Please let me know your thoughts on this topic if you have any. And thank you very much for listening or watching. And please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you.